Next weapon of choice, as far as advancing the core stability, helping take away lumbar pain, embracing the core to deal with core to extremity or extremity to core loaded movements, are the abduction and adduction. Abduction, think about being abducted by an alien. So AB means to press out, and adduction, think about adding something to your body, means to pull in. So when you abduct something, it goes up. When you adduct something, it comes in. So I've got here a foam roller. It doesn't have to be this fancy, expensive foam roller. It can be anything cheaper, but essentially something sturdy and hard. This is about 4.5, 5 inches in diameter. You can go a little bit bigger. You shouldn't go anything more than like 8 inches. If you're too wide, you're not going to be able to achieve the torque that you want to achieve. But essentially, I'm going to put this between my knees. Okay? And notice how I'm not putting it between my feet and my knees because I don't want to use my feet, just my knees. And you can bring it up to your head so it's vulnerable. You have to really hold it in place so if you let it go, it'll fall on you. And then as I'm squeezing this up, right, I'm going to plant my heels into the ground and just do glute bridges here. Now the glute bridge is not overextending and creating an arch in your back. Again, principles of raising. Squeeze the stomach, reach the head away from the tailbone, and I'm just going to come up to the plane and then squeeze the butt together. Now, be careful. It's shocking when you first do this because you will get extreme adjustments inside your groin. You know, the hip bone is sort of a fixed sort of butterfly shell, and as you're pressing on it and it moves, it will crack itself around its hinges and release any sort of gas from any sort of exercise that you have built in there. So it can be kind of like, whoa, what happened? When you're squeezing really hard, you get that butt squeeze, you might crack some of the groin muscle, and even where the lumbar fuses into the sacrum, some of the lower lumbar might crack as well. What this does is by abducting your groin together, you're helping utilize the glute muscles around your lower back and activate them more often. Most people aren't active in pulling their groin together, so the groin working with the lower back is very foreign to the body, so when you're doing that, it's going to work a lot better. So those are adduction, glute bridges. The next up will be adduction leg raises. So again, we're going to sit on the ground. This is a 4-pound spry ball off Amazon or any other distributor you want to use. If you don't support Amazon, it's up to you. It's all good. 4 pounds is a little heavy. They make lighter. I wouldn't go too much heavier. Heaviest I've ever seen it done with is about 15 pounds, which then just you break form. But you're going to lay on your back. I'm going to put it between my feet or my heels. I'm going to brace the core, get my core into the back, get into the ground, reach my head away, and then slowly do leg raises. Tap the heels and come up slowly. And then if you find a shaky spot like here, milk it. Just like we did with the baby roll, and when we get to that quarter roll, when we find the shaky spot, milk the shaky spots. Shaky spots aren't spots for you to shy away from, they're spots for you to embrace because you need to make them stronger. So those are our adduction leg raises, and then we have our abduction leg raises. And if you haven't guessed it already, yes, you can band up your knees and do an abduction glute bridge, and I'll show you that in a second. Legs straight, brace the core. Notice how when I brace the core, it pulls me up off the ground, as it should. You learn when you're doing your McGill sit-ups, right? Taking the chest up to the ceiling without moving the lower back. Same concept. Brace the ground, pull apart, touch, raise, touch, raise. And then again, like I said, if you want, you can pull the band up to right below the knees, pull apart, heels into the ground, up high, squeeze the butt. I have found though, with the abduction, glute bridges, you do need a lot of tension. So these perform better bands, perform better. They do make sets on Amazon as well. Make sure you get like a variety set that goes from light to heavy. I think black's the heaviest in case you want to move on to the abduction glute bridges. So again, to recap, we're activating the glutes, the groin as they're related to the core, which is going to help when you're standing a lot, activate everything in and around the hip to be a foundation for the lower back. So now instead of the lower back being by itself, the lower back down to about the groin works together, giving you a solid, a more sturdy core foundation.